right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our live broadcast today here on Facebook. I'm Travis Roberts, the Director of Marketing and Community Engagement here at Southwest. And, this is an interesting time here as we transition to an alternate delivery of our format for education. But it's nothing new here to Southwest when we talk about distance learning. I've got with me today Melissa Stiltner. She's actually the coordinator for distance learning at Southwest. She does a host of other things, too. And I've also got Dyan Lester. Dyan's the Dean of Student Success. Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, want to thank everybody for joining us today. We're just going to talk a little bit about distance learning at Southwest. And as I said, it's nothing new to Southwest. Guys, I'm probably going to tell my age a little bit, but I remember back in the day when distance learning was you go in, you check the materials out, you take it home, you pop the VHS tape in and you watch it.
Yep.
And then you fill out some papers, but it's different now, right, guys? It's a lot different.
Melissa and I both worked in distance learning at Southwest when that was the case, so we remember those days too. But it's
your large bags of VHS you were carrying out.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes,
and things have definitely changed, but let's talk a little bit about that. Melissa, I'm going to direct this question at you. Maybe you can tell folks today, how does distance learning now work at Southwest? Obviously, we're not using VHS tapes and we're checking materials out. So let's talk to folks about that a little bit about, if they're watching today and they're thinking this may be something for me, especially now. There's a lot of folks at home, they've been displaced. Maybe go into some details.
Absolutely. Distance learning is such a great opportunity for our students because it allows them to learn in their home at their pace when they have time around their life schedule. So it delivers high quality education and instruction, but it uses the technology resources that we are fortunate to have at our institution, like Canvas, Zoom, those types of things. Students still get that one-on-one interaction and access to their instructor and to their classmates, but they get to do it in an online learning environment, which opens a lot of opportunities that would not be necessarily available to everyone, if you're trying to work around your life schedule.
And let's talk about what people are using. What is the platform? Maybe talk a little bit about that, because I think there may be some folks that are nervous maybe about what am I getting into? How's this going to work?
Absolutely. So on our homepage, sw.edu, we do have an entire page dedicated to distance learning. So you are welcome. I invite you to go check out that page. It does have a really nice quiz about, am I ready for distance learning? So it gives you a little bit of insight into the type of things you're going to experience in that learning environment. Most students will access everything through our My Southwest portal. It's fantastic. It has all of our resources located on that one page. You can get directly into Canvas, which is our learning management system where all of your classes and course content are housed. You have a student email address through there. Library services are available directly through there. And tutoring services, our Zoom meeting information, your entire student information system is directly on that My Southwest portal. So you don't have to navigate to a lot of different sites or locations to get everything you need to be successful in your course.
Awesome. Well, we have transitioned again. A lot of folks are doing this learning now differently than we were just several weeks ago now with COVID-19. I'm going to lean to Dyan for maybe a response on this one. How has that changed? Let's talk a little bit about what students are doing now, because I think there's probably some students watching today, and we do have many support systems in place for those students. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that and tell folks what we're doing on campus to help those students transition as we're transitioning too.
Absolutely. So there's several different ways that we're reaching out to students. We know that a lot of students didn't sign up for online classes at the beginning of this semester for various reasons, and so we're very sensitive to that. And so that's kind of why we use the term alternative delivery. Not every class is able to be just shifted to online immediately and be exactly the same. So there are some classes that are taking a hybrid approach where they're moving some online and the instructor is communicating directly with the students about some other components. So there's, definitely my advice to students is reach out to your instructor if you have any question at all, because each instructor may be doing it a little bit differently. All of our faculty members have been so good to, be open-minded, be flexible about working with students, to hear students about the barriers or the challenges they might have with the COVID-19 situation or with just trying to learn from home. So it's, the faculty are ready and willing to listen. We also have student success advisors, and they are available by virtual office hours. So they're utilizing Zoom, and they've all set up meeting spaces where they can meet with students privately still, but yet do it online. The other thing is, we know not everybody has internet, not everybody has a good device where they can jump on Zoom. So we are also doing phone support as well. All of the phone extensions for the Student Success Division have been forwarded to their home phones or cell phones. So students can still just use the campus directory, call the phone numbers that you need for your advisors and admissions, financial aid, all those folks. Just call the numbers listed on the directory and it will get you through to a person.
Well, there's all the information, folks. If you're watching us today, if you're just tuning in, we're here talking about online learning, distance learning here at Southwest. Not just, maybe you're watching and you're thinking this may be something I want to go into. Dyan, maybe you can talk a little more about the advisors. We're actually going to try to do some interviews with those folks too, but they're all working remotely too. And it's funny, you can just pop them up and right there they are. We've got
Yeah.
resources available at sw.edu, links to those advisors. They're easy to find.
They are easy to find, and it's really amazing. Again, everybody just kind of, when we decided to shift to teleworking and extend spring break, so that not only to protect the students but to also protect our faculty and staff, everybody just jumped right in with regard to getting the technology that we needed from campus, learning the skills we needed to use it. And we've joked that we actually see each other more now than we do when we're on campus, because we have so many Zoom meetings and so many just quick calls that we jump on, that normally you pick up the phone or you shoot an email off and you kind of move on. But we're really focusing on in enhancing our engagement with this technology. And we are finding that we're still able to very much connect with students. We're able to register them for summer. We're able to register them for fall, change programs, drop classes, withdraw, address financial aid. I mean, everything is still moving business as usual. So I'm really, really proud of folks for that. It's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can tell you just internally, we're all talking. I honestly feel like we're maybe doing a lot more work and getting a lot more done in some cases, because, I think it's important for us to let people know. And I think you did a good job of, we are not closed. We are open for students. We are open for those folks who need assistance. And we're here. Let's talk a little bit about, I guess if someone's watching this and they're thinking about going back to school, they're thinking about maybe taking classes at Southwest. When can people start? I'm going to direct this to Melissa, because we were talking a little bit about this earlier. There's different start times for folks if they want to get into distance learning.
Absolutely. So we do offer 5-week, 8-week, 10-week, and traditional semester-based courses to fit your schedule, as I was mentioning earlier, to really offer as many class options as we can to our students in our region. They will have immediate access to their course content when that class date starts. So it's not them waiting to get into a course or anything like that. When they first day of class, you have access to everything you should need in that course. I didn't mention this earlier, but since we were talking about advisors and everything, I just want to remind everyone too, we do have a full distance learning department that is here to support you in this online learning. We can support you with the technology resources, guide you through your first time on a class. I'm nervous. Where do I get started? Where do I click? So in addition to those excellent resources Dyan was mentioning, don't forget that we do have a whole team to support you in your online learning as well.
Awesome. And, we're actually going to try to bring some of those, some of the faculty on and do a couple of Facebook Lives with them
That's awesome.
to just talk about how they're approaching some of their distance courses, how they're approaching the way we're doing classes now. But, something that I think is important too, a lot of folks wonder, how am I going to pay for college? I mean, let's face it, right now, finances, it's an issue for a lot of folks. We obviously have always had great financial aid at Southwest, but there's tuition-free options too. And maybe Dyan can chime in about that, about the, from the financial aid perspective. That's sort of in her wheelhouse too, in her department. I mean, there's options for folks to come to school even for free for some of our counties.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw our local counties, Buchanan, Russell, and Tazewell counties step up and partner to offer high school graduates in 2 of the counties in Tazewell and Russell. And then Buchanan, of course, did all residents last year. free tuition to attend Southwest. And so that made a huge difference. And from an economic development standpoint, that also can impact our communities quite a bit with regard to the dangers and the limits that, some folks are going to be feeling the effects of with small business. Programs like this really help boost the economy and help our communities grow and develop. So we're very thankful to our county partners for that. We also see initiatives like G3 coming down from the governor's office, which is still underway. And so that will, again, cover tuition for certain programs. And we're hoping to then utilize our vast resources of state federal funds and our wonderful foundation to cover the additional program needs of all of our students. So I always tell everybody, since I've got this since I've taken this role here at the College of Dean of Students, that never let anyone leave from this hill because they can't afford it. We will find a way to help them if at all possible. So it is achievable. It's doable for anyone. Melissa and I both went back to school as adults and as moms. And so, I chose distance learning because I needed it. I needed the flexibility with my children. I was a single mom at the time with 2 little ones. And it was the only way that I could really balance everything well. And it was something I never thought I would do, but I loved it. And so it's definitely, even if it's something that's intimidating for folks, give it a shot, because you'll never be more supported than you are here at Southwest.
I would totally agree with that. And I can tell you, just from what I've seen in the perspective, there's so many opportunities, from scholarships, like you mentioned, the foundation. And not only that, I mean, you look at the tuition free that's happening among the counties. We've had private donors step up and say, I'm going to help kids go to school in this region. I mean, it's a lot of folks don't know that that's happening behind the scenes, but it is. And there's a lot going on and a lot of good happening at Southwest. Let's talk about, and we're going to wrap up here, but someone may be asking, I think we talk about, financial aid. I mean, that applies for folks who are going to summer school to distance learning too. Sometimes they think, I've got to go to class and show up at the campus. No, they don't have to, right? I mean, it's the same thing. You're a student when you sign up.
That is correct.
There's no requirement. There's different levels of aid for different number of hours you take. So there's always been a myth around that you have to be full time to get financial aid, and that's not the case either.
Well, folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you guys for joining us today, Melissa and Dyan. Appreciate you guys chiming in and talking to students today. And again, if you have any questions, not only about maybe Southwest, but if you really want to dive into what's going on with the COVID-19 and how we're handling things at Southwest, we keep our website updated with the latest. It's sw.edu. You cannot miss it. It's right at the top. It's a big red banner right there. It tells you everything that's going on. And of course, if you want to jump into distance learning, we've got all those resources online as well. So folks, we're going to wrap it up today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon. See ya.
Bye.